Hello, everybody. Hi, Chainsaw Reacts co-host Andy, episode 59 of Endless Multiverse. I mean, what else is there to say? There's nothing to talk about this week. There is literally no news, nothing really dropping, and the only real significant news is that we have no news about Gotham Knights or Superman and Lois. That's pretty much it. The fact that the CW is renewing a bunch of nonsense or picking up a bunch of nonsense. We have no word on these shows. And Andy's been complaining, rightfully so, on Twitter, saying, I love how CW is continuously announcing things, but not the thing everyone is waiting to find out about.
Yeah, I don't know what the. I feel like we're being punked at this point, because usually when we get like press releases from the CW, like it will like start with like in all caps, and
Mm-hmm.
I will see it on my phone. I'm like, oh yeah, this must finally mean that we got something, and then I open it, I'm like, what's this show?
Is the thing you're sharing on Twitter, like, is that email press that's being sent or
That's
something
press,
that's.
yeah, it's press, yeah, but I obviously only I'm only sharing the part where I'm like, yeah, no one's information is being revealed, or whatever, and so on.
Well, of
It's a
course.
this,
Yeah.
but it's just so funny.
And, like, it's like, okay, so at some point, I'm thinking at this point, they're not going to make an announcement until those shows are done airing. That's my guess.
I
I
mean, it's,
mean,
the funniest thing would be, I mean, not, it would be funny, but like it would be very CW poetic. Is so because both shows air on the Tuesday, so like on the 27th,
mhm,
they let's say it's like 12 p.m. Eastern or something,
mhm.
and suddenly they announce that, oh, neither shows are coming back. Gosh, the series finale is tonight. That now that because they know people are like they know people. It's not gonna be enough time for people to just suddenly drop, being like, oh yeah, like
Yeah.
I know I'm not gonna care now. I'm not gonna go watch it. Like it's like people are gonna be like, oh well, you know, scoot, damn it. Like what do we do? May
Hmm.
as well just finish watching it tonight or something.
Yeah. Exactly, Justin. You're raising my blood pressure. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the show tonight. We really have nothing to talk about. We have Arrowverse chat and Q&A is kind of the thing, but like that's like what we assume base people are going to talk about. But we really are just kind of sitting here, just like nothing really to do. And the reason why we didn't cancel tonight's show is because we have Flash next week. Of course, with the Flash film, we're going to do a spoiler discussion on that. But then the next 2 weeks, I'll be on vacation, and then I have a concert I'm going to on the last Friday of the month. So I'm not sure if Andy's doing anything on the Friday I'm gone on vacation.
I think
Um,
Andy's gonna be taking a little break himself.
okay,
So
so we'll just be off for 2 weeks. We'll just be off for those. So we have next week's show, but that's why I want to do something, at least something tonight, so we can just kind of chat with you guys a little bit. Um, did you hear Grant told us the real reason he left the show? Well, it was revolving around his family, but I mean, I think it was multiple things. I mean,
yeah, like he feels like every week I feel every week since the show ended, we just be like, oh well, this is the reason he wanted to show that, or this is the reason. It's like it's I don't
yeah,
think it's as black and white people as I don't think it's as black and white as people make it out to be. So
yeah, I think it's multiple reasons. I think the main thing is that his whole life has shifted because when he started the show, he didn't have a wife or kid, and now he has both those things. And 9 years on a show, that's a lot of work, and that's a lot of time of not doing other things. He tried to do a lot of projects during the break of the Flash in the summer, but then schedules get shifted, and then he has to drop out of stuff because when they want him to shoot, when they reschedule things, he's obligated by contract. He has to be back in Vancouver. So he lost out on a lot of opportunities that he wanted to do outside of filming under the contract. Hey, at least we got something to talk about next Friday. Yep, we do. We got the Flash movie. We have lots to talk about. Superman Lois Lex Luthor looks like he can beat up all the previous live action Lex Luthors in 2 minutes. He's a big dude. He's a big dude. Thank you for the super chat, Naruto. Just warning, are you going to react to the Secret Invasion footage? What, you're talking about the 5 minutes they released through that password? No, because I don't even though it's promotional material, I don't think that. I mean, I think maybe people did react to it. I don't know, but I was like, no, I'm okay.
Also, it's not that. It's not even that exciting, to be honest. Like,
Oh, okay.
it's just there. Again, I mean, it's a good scene, but it's like nothing more like you pretty much have like the one and the same reaction like throughout all the 4 minutes, and then that's
Mm-hmm.
it.
What is the most overhated Arrowverse season? So not specific to a show, but something that's overhated, not justifiably hated, but overhated. I mean, I think a lot of people say Arrow season 4, which I agree it's garbage, but maybe that. But I don't know. I mean, Supergirl had a lot of people disliking that show for certain seasons. I know there were some people that really disliked season 4 of Supergirl because of the political stuff, the more political stuff they were doing within that season in terms of what was his name? Sam Witwer played him.
Agent Liberty.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things about that. Flash season 5 is overhated. I get that criticism though because of Nora and everything. But I personally enjoyed season 5, but obviously it's not amazing or 10 out of 10, but yeah.
I think that was where I felt like, okay, I think Todd Helping has done what he can with the Flash, because like I think he's just running out of ideas.
How long was he show running at that
point? Well, he and his brother, they became like co-showrunners in season 2, and then in season 4, he was the only Todd was the only Flash showrunner. So yeah, I mean, Todd was there from the beginning of the Flash.
Gotcha.
So,
what about underrated Arrowverse season? It's hard to say because I feel like it feels like the majority of people kind of agree on the seasons of the shows. I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know. It's probably a season of a show I didn't watch. Probably. I don't know. Because for Batwoman, I didn't finish season 2. And I heard season 3 is the best season of all the show. But at that point, I think I don't know. It's a good question. Is it me or does Lex Luthor on Superman and Lois give off a Kingpin vibe?
No,
not really. For overhated, I picked Flashy's 5 because I like the extra normal outlet. She was the perfect casting though, for playing Grant and Candace's daughter. I mean, it's perfect casting. If I'm asking another question, what is the worst main villain of Flash?
I mean, it's Cicada.
It's Cicada, but he's also the greatest thing ever to exist in the Arrowverse. But it truly is Cicada, probably. Well, I get that point, but they couldn't because character rights. And also, it's the show about Batwoman. It's not about Batman. I wish they would have solved the mystery of why, like, and they said that it's because of Joker or whatever, but like, I feel like there was more to it than that. I don't know. I feel like season 3 of Batwoman was lackluster, but it's just still a good season. I don't know. At some point, I need to complete that show. At some point. But what I'm curious about is Poison Ivy, though. That's the one thing, because didn't Mary or something become a version of Poison Ivy?
Yeah, no, it's that's a fun trip, but
is that an overarching thing for the whole season, or is that part of the season?
It kind of starts happening in the middle of season 3-ish again, because season 3 is so short. But yeah, but it's I mean, definitely like there's a good build up and payoff to it. So and also because I know they've only allowed to use Pamela Isley for like certain amount of episodes. So there's a reason why Mary is Poison Ivy for a bit, and then
character rights. I wonder if that's going to shift when James Gunn and Peter Safran start working on more projects under their regime. I wonder if that's going to shift
I
the.
mean, it's not gonna matter because almost every other universe besides the main DC universe in live action is gonna be gone. Like,
Yeah, I'm just curious if like they are not going to be as stingy on stuff, like because that Warner Brothers is going to want other, like, because they would potentially sell off other properties to or other places to pay them to get the rights so they get more money. Because there was like an article that came out today about how Max has earned over 1 million new subscribers since the relaunch of Max, and how they paid off more of the debt that they were in, which is meaning their stock prices are going up. But that would mean that, hey, if they want more money, because Amazon, that deal they made with Amazon, the Cape Crusader, Amazon's paying for that show so they can have it. So I wouldn't be surprised if Warner Bros. Like, hey, Netflix, we've had a relationship with you in the past. You have the Sandman right now. Do you want to have potentially an option to have access to this character to make a show? And that means that Netflix would have a show, but they'd be paying Warner Bros. Discovery for that so that they get more money. So I wonder if that could potentially be a thing, because like I would think James Gunn and Peter Safran, they're not going to cover everything in their DCU. They're not going to have the ability to. It'd be just too much, because I mean, you don't want to oversaturate all your films. I saw something today about, I don't know the legitimacy, but that some characters from the Authority are going to be popping up in Superman Legacy to establish them before they go off into their film. And it's like, well, I just hope that it doesn't take away from Superman's story, is what, because it's the first film in this new continuity or this new universe that James Gunn and Peter Safran are building.
I kind of like the idea of them showing up in Superman Legacy. It makes it something different. And I know there was, I mean, even when back when Slade, when the first couple of projects got announced, there were people who were literally theorizing, are they leading up to Superman and the 40 comic book line or something like that? But just to answer the question, to answer the other question, I don't think they're gonna start like basically renting out a bunch of character rights. I think that one, I think again, I think they're gonna try and like want to have like as much of a one unified DC, like one DC continuity as much as possible. In terms of like I mean, like we have Sandman but like outside of that, it's like once Superman Lois is gone, but there's not really any more shared continuities to be considered. So and I again, yes, I mean they have depth, whatever, and so on, but like they can find other properties to rent out for that. I don't think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure DC Studios are probably gonna like also have a say in terms of like, hey, we wouldn't, let's not just rent out just these, rights just because we're not using it right now. So I think they want to try and like.
Well, it's definitely different than selling it off like Marvel did to Sony with Spider-Man, because they're regretting that now. But I mean, like if you look at like what happened with Marvel and Netflix, where they gave the rights for a bit to Daredevil and all that, and it was successful for a bit until Disney announced Disney Plus, and Netflix canceled everything Marvel related. They're like, nope, we're done. I mean, who knows? Because maybe it's more so about the animated stuff, not so live action, because that's a whole different set of rights. Because if it wasn't for Amazon picking up the Cape Crusader, we would not be seeing that show, because Warner Brothers was not moving forward with it under their own regime or under their own Max platform, which is really dumb. Like, I just don't understand, but I guess they didn't see a reason to keep it. I don't know. I was talking about the casting or testing or whatever, Superman and Lois for Superman Legacy.
Yeah, I mean, it's good they're finally they're getting closer.
What do you think we'll find out? Comic-Con? Do you think they'll wait till Comic-Con?
At this point, like, I mean, I think they are hoping to make it to Comic Con. I'm sure like other websites are gonna like leak it in leading up
Yeah.
to it. But no, but this kind of screams to me that they want to have it ready by San Diego Comic Con. And I
And
saw there were people using some clips today of the David guy of like, oh, here's what his Clark Kent could be like, and I'm like, so everyone basically wants him because he's a modern day Christopher Reeve. That's that's concerning to me. Again, I love Christopher Reeve, absolutely
well,
do.
also, it's like he was playing a role. It,
Right, but like
and
if that's all, if that's what his acting capabilities are, and that's what people are wanting to see him as Superman, then I'm like, oh, so you're only wanting to see him because he can do what you like about Christopher Reeve, um, and he looks like Henry Cavill, but it's not Henry Cavill.
yeah,
So it just
it's gonna be a tall order because they gotta find. This is the guy that's gonna be the face of the new DCU. Whoever Superman is, that's gonna be the guy. So
I do like some of the choices for
Lois,
okay, yeah, hold on. Justin, I don't know if you're just not listening to words I'm saying, so let me break this down. I have said so many times now that I love Christopher Reeve's Superman, and also if I was shaming Christopher Reeve, that means that Christopher Reeve would have to be here, and he's not with us, sadly. Like I'm not shaming it. It's more so that I'm like, let's not put Superman in just this one box and just have it be one thing.
yeah, because
Um,
there's people that just want more of what we've already have versus trying to create something that we haven't seen before, and that's the whole point with the announcement of the Brave and the Bold. Even though yes, we got Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, but it's a very different thing than what they're trying to do with the Brave and the Bold with an older Batman and a Damian Wayne, his son, as the introduction in the DCU in terms of this Batman. It's something different. And yes, the Batman from Matt Reeves was in essence similar in terms of starting out or like 2 years into being Batman, like Christopher Nolan's stuff was, where he was starting out and everything as an origin, but it wasn't an origin. But Matt Reeves gave us, something a little different. And that's the whole point of what I think James Gunn and Peter Safran are trying to do. They want to give us something different. And what Andy's trying to say is we don't need a Superman that we've already seen. We need something new. Now, there are going to be hints of Henry Cavill and Christopher Reeve in this new Superman, of course, because if you look at all Superman and all the ones that precede the ones afterwards, they all try to find something to kind of pay homage to in their own version. I mean, Henry Cavill literally at times wanted to pay homage to Christopher Reeve. And there's that shot of him in Man of Steel where he's looking up and you see there's a clear reference to Christopher Reeve on his face. And so like that's paying homage, but you don't want Henry Cavill to be Christopher Reeve Superman. You don't want whoever's playing this new Superman to be Henry Cavill 2.0. You don't want that. You want somebody who's going to bring something new to the character. And I think that's what's going to help because let's be honest, the criticism that's been thrown at Superman is that a lot of the times until recently, a lot of his storylines were kind of the similar because it's hard to write a character that is seen as a Boy Scout, and it's hard to write new storylines because he's pretty much God, with a few exceptions of his weaknesses. So you have to find new ways and creative ways to tell a story. And so after seeing Guardians 3, I have all the faith that James Gunn is going to deliver something different than what we have seen previously with the character.
I don't. I never. It's been so. The only problem I've had with Superman in live action is that it's not so much as stories because I feel like stories have always been. There's always something new to do with Superman. It's just that like everyone thinks that the only way to what's up, the only way to do Superman justice is by having what we saw in 1978, with like everyone wants that classic bumbling mild mannered Clark Kent,
Mhm.
and they want that same Superman that is just smiling, and they it's like, again, I think people are just too afraid to let the character evolve with times. That's why, like, Henry Cavill Superman will always be so underrated, because people just think that he's the one who snapped General Zod's neck. Well, if you use brain cells and pay attention to why it was a difficult choice for him, and then you look at the other movies that he's in after that, you can see that Zach was building to things. But you
Yeah,
know
because if you look at that scene, even with like, you don't have to see the whole movie to watch that full scene play out, where Zod is literally about to murder innocent people, and Superman has to make a choice. And you're saying that Superman should literally just allow Zod to just murder some innocent people after there's already been massive destruction throughout the whole city that killed other people clearly from their fight, and he's not even Superman. He just found out all this shit, and he's trying to process that he's a Kryptonian and all this, and understand everything. And now he's fighting one of the top fucking people from Krypton, and now
one of the last remaining people from
yeah,
Krypton.
and he's literally shooting his eye laser fucking beams that obliterate immediately to anybody, and he's about to kill some innocent people. And you're saying Superman should not? I get it. It's controversial, but Jesus Christ, guys, the way it was set up, it's clear as
Yeah.
day he had to make the decision.
This is what I want to say, is that we had that. We had a hopeful, optimistic Superman with Henry Cavill. It was just that he didn't smile enough for people to realize that, oh, that's exactly what you're getting. So but
Yeah.
again, a lot of people are shallow these days. So I'm just. That's why I'm like, most of, like, I've stopped even, like, listening to Superman fandom on Twitter, because it's like,
Yeah.
people are just people aren't brave enough to let the character evolve with times. Like, they think Superman is this one thing, but, like, that's why I'm like, no, there's so much more you can do with that.
I mean, I'd be fine with Metallo or Parasite. I'd probably want Metallo though, but that's just me. Let Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. I mean, he's a great actor, so I could.
If I had to pick one of those two roles, it would probably be him for Lex. I think he could do something unexpected.
Yeah. I don't want a Superman personally.
Yeah, and me neither.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, I think it's not. Here's the problem. There are so many subsection of DC fans that you cannot please everybody. Same thing with Star Wars fans, same thing with Marvel fans. You can't please everybody. I think the problem with DC is that you have this also subsection of DC fans that will not watch anything that is not made by Zack Snyder. And look, I'm a Snyder fan. I love the Snyder cut. I wanted him to continue and finish his vision. I've been campaigning for that. But the idea is that there is other, like, it's so funny because, like, these people obviously saw other DC films before the Snyder stuff. You saw Michael Keaton's Batman. You saw Christopher Reeve's Superman. You've seen a lot of these films. You probably saw the Nolan trilogy. You've seen these films, and it's like you can't watch anything else that's not. I just don't get it. That's true, Canada. I'm sorry. I forgot. I'm sorry. He knows. He knows. Which instrument score to be an homage to John Williams' theme or the theme music in the 90s? No.
Neither.
Because you want something new.
Yeah, that's what I love with Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL. That it was. I mean, the longer it goes on, the worse it looks, because I just it feels like it feels like the law again. This is why I feel like this whole week has been like, they're punking us. They're like fucking with us, because I think they've already decided at this point.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and also I think the writer strike thing, yeah, it's affecting everything. That's the problem.
And again, there were shows that got canceled today on NBC. The Rock's what's his show called? Young
Young
Rock or
Rock.
whatever got canceled.
Oh, I didn't know that. That sucks. I don't know why most Superman in the cartoons in live action try to make him an evil dictator.
They're not making him an evil dictator. They're playing with the new nuances and the circumstances. Again, Henry Cavill's Superman was never an evil dictator. He was someone who was so heartbroken and in grief of losing Lois that the most evil thing in the planet in the universe took advantage of him. And now people always seem to love people. Didn't seem to have any problem with an evil Superman on Superman Lois. So, but that's the thing. Like Superman Lois is allowed to do anything apparently, while all other Superman media is just like, no, that's evil dictator.
Yeah. Who's my Batman Brave the Bold? Bruce Wayne.
But he's not an actor though.
He is an actor.
He's not an actor.
You haven't met him? He's great. He's awesome.
It shouldn't be. It should not be Jensen Ackles. I love Jensen Ackles, but like I'm imagining the Superman, the Batman we're gonna get is what age would he be if he's gonna be a father? Like I think he's gonna be 35 or something. Not like he's not gonna be Ben Affleck's age. He's definitely not gonna be Jensen Ackles' age. Nothing against Jensen Ackles, but it's like Jensen Ackles is, if this had been 10 years ago, I think it would have worked.
Yeah, I grew up with the 90s animated series. It was really, really good, obviously. Great lead.
Did you watch all the episodes live? Most of the episodes live?
A good majority of it. From what I remember, I remember seeing a good portion of the episodes. And then, of course, when I got older, I was able to go back and kind of binge through the whole show and catch what I missed or whatever. Because obviously when you're a kid, you don't think of catching new episodes of shows, or you do, but it's sometimes you're not catching up exactly or whatever.
So we don't know we don't know what a TV guide is, or if the show is on, it's we watch it. That was my perception of time of I'm like, okay, it's Saturday. I mean, it's Just League Unlimited is going to be on at some point of the day. No one can tell me oh, Andy, at 7 a.m. today, Just League Unlimited is going to be airing. I'm like, what the fuck is a clock? All I know is that the show is going to air some point today, and I'm going to watch it.
That was pretty much what it was. I mean, it was kind of crazy how you're able to kind of keep up with stuff without the internet, because now with Twitter and promotional stuff and videos on YouTube, you pretty much know exactly when stuff's coming out or going to streaming. Back then, you didn't know. I remember back on Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon time, where you literally would watch, and then they would have within commercials. They would have okay, here's what's coming up in 30 minutes. Here's what's coming up after that. So you knew what's coming up relatively soon. But unless you went to that TV guide, then you didn't know. But yeah, I mean, I was definitely missing.
Do you remember Jetix?
I don't
It
know.
was like the I think it was from the Fox channel. It was the kids channel from Fox. It used to be called Fox Kids, and they renamed it to Jetix. Google Jetix. You're gonna once you see the logo, you're gonna be instantly remembered of it.
What? How do you spell it?
JETIX.
That looks familiar.
Yeah, I promise you've seen it. I promise you've seen it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. It does. I mean, I also remember too.
Lance, it is fucking summer. Also, are you feel a little insecure about your own chest meat, or is it because of the lack of?
Or are you? What about hair? And what about the hair?
Mm-hmm.
There's some hair right there. There's some hair.
And
they got this whole fucking thing here. What was I gonna look up? So yeah, they released a trailer for My Adventure Superman.
It looks
I did.
fun. I don't
Yeah,
get why they're premiering at midnight.
yeah. I watched trailer. I didn't react to it, but I saw the trailer. I'm like, okay.
Is that a good or is that a
I don't know.
you look annoyed?
I was like, okay. I what because I wasn't. I don't know. I just. Well, here's the thing, and it's the conversation we just had a few minutes ago about live action Superman. This show had to be different than the Superman 90s animated show. It had to be different. So they're going a different route. So we'll see what happens. We'll see.
Also, I need to put on these are my new prescription sunglasses, and because my eyes are annoying, so it's
Go
not
for
me
it.
trying. Yeah,
You're
so
cool.
it's just
You're cool.
yeah. I don't know why I'm like more sensitive tonight with my eyes. I don't know.
You're cool, dog. You're cool.
Oh, hi Justin. By the way, good to see you. He's one of my longtime viewers.
Shocker. I think we talked about that. Yeah, we did. Hey, okay. Out of Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network, which one did you watch more of?
That's a good question. I think it was Cartoon Network more because we didn't. My dad didn't because I think. Actually, because I didn't have Cartoon Network or Netflix or Nickelodeon that much as a kid until we moved to our new house.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I would get to sleep over, at a friend's house, so on. They would have Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network. So I would while I was at their house, I would try and watch it as much as I could.
I'm gonna throw out some shows to see if you remember them. Ready?
Okay.
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
No.
Didn't watch that show? Ed, Edd and Eddy.
Of course.
Shelby, my wife, loves Ed, Edd and Eddy. I played an episode on Max a couple nights ago, and she loves that intro song.
It's so catchy.
Yeah. I got more obscure one. Codename Kids Next Door. Did you ever see that show?
It sounds very familiar.
Yeah, that show was crazy show. Let's see, Cartoon Network, Dexter's Laboratory.
Of course, I'm literally the male version of DD.
That was such a unique character. Let me actually look up Cartoon Network programming. Yeah, Cartoon Network shows. I got on. So, the shows now they have on there, I just don't understand.
It's this is not the Cartoon Network that I grew up with.
No. My gym partner's a monkey. Did you ever see that?
I remember hearing of it.
The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Mm-mm.
No. Wow. Let's see. Cow and Chicken.
Oh yeah.
Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, of course I remember Johnny Bravo.
Yeah. And then after that, it gets okay, there's Ben 10 and all that, and then then it gets into stuff I have no idea about.
No, what are you hearing of? Well, mention some of them.
Oh, the newer ones. Because you have after you get into the early mid 2000s, you have stuff like Squirrel Boy, Chowder, which I seen a little bit of that Chowder show. The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack. I don't know. Robotomy. Okay. Mixels, the 2016 Powerpuff Girls. Okay, KO.
Powerpuff Girls. I do remember that, at least from the original show.
Yeah, the original, but then this is the reboot that went on for a couple years. Apple and Onion. I don't know. Oh, Warner Brothers Animation. Here we go. So Justin, of course, Baby Looney Tunes. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Crypto the Super Dog. I forgot that was a show. Mystery Incorporated, of course, some reaction to that. Young Justice. Thundercats 2011, the Green Lantern animated series. Hanna-Barbera. Oh, live action. Oh, not live action. Oh God. Anime short series. Yeah, it's a whole list of stuff here. syndicated series. Animaniacs, remember that?
Oh yes, of course.
Animaniacs. You know they made like new seasons for Hulu for Animaniacs.
Really?
Yeah,
Damn.
me and Shelby watched a good bunch of it. And of course, when I interviewed Rob Paulson, I asked him about that. He's like, "Yeah, it was great to go back to voice, the characters and stuff."
Speaking of voice acting, can we pour one out for Josh Keaton? What a fucking story
What about? What about?
about how he was supposed to get his wrap up as Spider-Man on Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and then he had to find out the night the episode aired that Drake Bell had replaced him.
Oh yeah, so when I interviewed Joshua Fine, who worked on the show, I think it was after. I think it was my third interview with him because it was after I finished Spectacular Spider-Man. We talked about that for a good bit because he had mentioned how they had brought Josh Keaton in to voice, and the recordings are somewhere of him voicing Peter Parker from those episodes because apparently he appeared in 2 episodes, and then Marvel went this route of we're gonna make a new Spider-Man show, so they brought in Drake Bell, and he was nice about it. It's like, we're glad that Drake Bell came in to voice, but obviously it was hurtful because we really liked because he actually was a part of early meetings with Sony, the Sony side in terms of Greg Weisman and all that. I'm not sure if he actually had a meeting with Greg Weisman, but he said that they had meetings early on about the Spectacular Spider-Man, and he said he was the one that suggested the name Spectacular Spider-Man and suggested web shooters versus organic webbing because Greg Weisman was really adamant about organic. He wanted to do organic webbing, and he was like, "No, let's go back to web shooters." So he mentioned a couple things he contributed or suggested, and all that, and so he was happy to at least have his name somewhat attached to it because his name's some sort of associate producer or something for it. But he really didn't do too much besides the initial kind of development of it early on. But yeah, he mentioned how he hated the fact that they had to cut Joshua because he said it was so cool to have that version of Spider-Man alongside the Avengers. So
yeah, but the fact that they had Drake Bell like making him sound like similar to him, I'm like, guys, this is actually really really shitty. Like, yeah, that's why I'm so glad that Josh Keaton he got some justice this year in Spider-Verse.
He got spotlighted too. That was a really cool thing because he wasn't actually in the background.
He talks like he moves. Even though I do think it's very funny how short that Peter is, and you see Miles like being like this like tower. I'm like, was Spectacular Spider-Man really that short?
I mean, the animation style makes it seem like there's not really tall people besides Eddie Brock, but I think here's the I threw this out there as like a what if to Andy during one of our streams. I think it was leading up to Comic-Con last year. I said, watch them at the animation panel announce the 90s animated series of Spider-Man's back, which would have been amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm actually going back to watch the Spider-Verse storyline in season 5.
Is that the final? No, the final arc is Secret Wars. No, wait. No, it might have been Spider-Verse to end. Wait. Disney Plus. Tell me.
Yeah.
Disney Plus. Tell me. Let's see. Because I honestly looked at the episode list a couple days ago too. I was just scrolling through Disney Plus randomly. Load. If the app will load. Here we go. Jesus Christ. All right. Avatar: The Way of Water. Spider-Man. All right. So, okay, 6 Forgotten Warriors, chapter, The Return of Hydra, part 2, Secret Wars, and then Spider Wars. Yeah, there's 2 episodes of Spider Wars, 12 and 13. And there was 3 parts to Secret Wars before that arc. Okay.
There's a lot of good. I feel like, you know what? It's funny. Spider-Man animated, they were doing graphic novels before Eric Wall was doing them, and I kind of liked them. Like, you know, like when you had like 5, 6 episodes of, you know, like the Man Spider storyline or the symbiote storyline or the, you know, Secret
Yeah.
Wars and stuff like that. Um, oh, that show was so good.
Episode 1, The Night of the Lizard.
Spider-Man.
I remember the Night of the Lizard episode so vividly. And then of course getting into the alien costume. They have it as part 1, 2, and 3, the alien costume. They don't call it the symbiote, they call it the alien costume.
I wonder if Simba was too dark for the kids, because remember, I mean, Fox did so much censoring on Spider-Man animated series. Like,
Well, I'm also wondering, is it because maybe kids would be able to pronounce properly symbiote? Symbiote, like
I
maybe.
almost, you know, what would have been so funny if they were like, "Well, we don't know how to pronounce it, so why are we going to force our viewers to try learn it when we don't know?"
Here's something crazy. Episode 7 is Craven the Hunter of season 1. Episodes 8, 9, and 10 are involving the symbiote and Venom. Episodes 11 and 12 are Hobgoblin, and the last episode is the Chameleon. That is a lineup of episodes right there. That is crazy. Thank you for the super chat.
By the way, when you're done with X-Men Evolution, I propose that you do Spider-Man the animated series, all 5 seasons.
Just rewatch it. Just rewatch the show.
I think that, I mean,
I did try rewatching Batman the animated series on Patreon back in the day for like for exclusive. Maybe I should ask the audience, do you guys, okay, people are here now and I can reach out audience, but Professor, will the CB pick up the Chosen? Will it cross over with Cecile? Yes. The Chosen will cross over with Cecile. It's confirmed.
I can tell you guys right now, I'm not gonna be the one podcasting about it.
I think Andy had that scoop earlier today. But okay, to question people who are here. When I get the opportunity, when I have the time, would a rewatch of a series like Spider-Man, X-Men, would that be something to be interesting? Like the X-Men 90s series, Spider-Man 90s series? Let me know. Because it's not a reaction. I can't call it a reaction, but you guys don't care, so I don't know. I just gotta find the time. You know what they should do? They need to remaster those 2 shows because they haven't done that yet.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I wonder if they're gonna announce like when they get close to premiering
X-Men 97.
X-Men 97, if they're gonna be like, oh, it's announced, you can now rewatch the entire series in its remastered format.
That would be cool. I mean, because see what like DC's been doing a pretty good job. Of course, they remastered Batman, the 90s. They remastered. It's so funny the timing. The Batman mid 2000 show that I reacted to, they released the Blu-ray remastering 2 episodes into me watching the show. 2 episodes in, and of course they've remastered Superman the 90s series. So I feel like Disney's gonna pick it up, you know, get on the roll here.
I'm glad these shows exist on Disney Plus so that people can actually check them out. And like, you know, like for me, like, oh, I forgot to tell you, so like a couple of weeks ago I was out like grocery shopping and I hear this little kid, like he's humming like the Spider-Man 90s theme song, like, you know, because he's doing like the electric guitar like in the air, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Awesome.
Like the next generation is like discovering the shows that we fell in love with. That was just so iconic.
This is happening, right?
F-Boy Island. I just and joining the cast of F-Boy Island season 2 is Stephen Amell.
About a couple months ago, the crews of Batman, the animated series, Spider-Man animated series, and Gargoyles all took shots at each other in interviews. I mean,
really?
That's interesting.
If there's video interviews of that, we should do reactions to that.
Well, it's so funny because, like, I remember, like, typing in, so I was curious about if he had done any interviews when I interviewed Joshua Fine after the first time, I actually looked. I might have looked up before I interviewed him for the first time. I like looked up on YouTube, and he had done a video interview for Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and it was so funny to see him there because he was so young. As you could tell, it's like he was so excited to cover this, and now he's just like he gets on, has a beard and everything. He's just completely different with that beard. Like it's the same man, but it's crazy. Cross Spider-Verse producer Phil Lord says the planned post-credit scene was scrapped due to being hard to beat. Well, I mean,
good.
We didn't need a post-credit. I don't think.
We need a teaser trailer because
Like,
fuck me. I want new footage already.
Yeah, because I mean, like the way they end it. I mean, literally, they give Miles a pretty crazy ending, and then Gwen has a pretty awesome ending in terms of where the film ends. So it's a great way to go about. Like at that point, I don't know what you tease next. Like I don't know what you would do to tease. So I don't know. I haven't seen the Transformers Rise of the Beast. No, I haven't not seen it. It was not a priority. Sorry.
Michael Bay is going to be very upset now.
Well, he didn't make the movie.
I know. It was a joke.
He's just upset in general. I heard Haley Steinfeld said she has not recorded for Beyond yet because she said it took for 4 years to record for Gwen and Cross. I don't know if that's true, or is it true about the whole 4 years?
I know she hasn't said anything about. Ladies and gentlemen, we're joined by a very special guest.
I did not know this was happening.
Yeah.
Hey everyone.
Hello.
Oh my gosh.
This is exciting for you guys. I understand.
I was not prepared for this.
I know. I just see it.
Neither was I. I checked my Twitter and I had a DM and I'm like, yeah, sure. I was here eating some Rolos and I had like my mouth just full of Rolos when I got the message. I'm like, like just trying to hurry up.
What was the direct message from the CW's #1 fan?
Yes, it was some guy, his user title, his username was something like CW fan I love the chosen or something like that. I can't remember.
CW fan
had a picture of David Zaslav's face with little hearts around it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes, that is correct, Justin.
The Arrowverse will not survive. This Arrowverse is dead. It's
correct.
Done. Yeah, it's done. The Arrowverse took a big old shit. It's over.
I mean, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here and say there is still technically that slim 2% chance that there a lot of things need to happen. That Superman and Lois gets picked up by HBO Max, and then they decide to be part of the Arrowverse.
It's called Max now.
Screw that. It's HBO Max.
Yeah.
I still refer to our hockey arena as GM Place, and they changed the name of that 15 years ago. takes me a second to catch up.
Oh, bro.
Do you guys have HBO Max in Canada?
I don't think so. So we have one of our cable providers is Shaw, and they have a service called Crave, which is kind of our equivalent. Which is kind of our equivalent of HBO Max. Well, it's not just they like partner with several different things, but like HBO Max being one of them. So all the HBO Max content is generally found on Crave.
Is that kind of like where like some of the more mature content goes for people in Canada? Like if they've like for example, like would I find Titans on Crave, for example?
I don't know. Let me see. I had Crave once for about 3 hours, but it wouldn't work on my old computer, so I got rid of it.
It's a cool. I like the name though. I do like the name.
Crave.
Yeah, when I Google Crave, you know how like under like on sponsored posts it'll give you other like subsections of a thing to look at. Mm-hmm. It says TV shows on Crave. Then just randomly Succession has its own tab. Then HBO Max Originals.
There you go.
Yeah.
I have not reacted to the World War trailer. I thought we were going to tonight, but with Canada here, I mean, we're probably. I mean, I'll watch the World War trailer eventually. Thank you for the super chat, though. Watch it eventually.
It'll feature one Mr. Teddy Sears. He was very excited when I talked to him. He was like, when he talked about it, like he's very excited for that project. So,
well, who's he voicing?
Warlord.
Oh, okay. I'll okay. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Teddy, go.
It's
Teddy.
good to see these guys already picking up new projects.
Yeah, it's good that they're moving on from. I mean, they really shouldn't be moving on. They should realistically be waiting around, hoping for the revival of the Flash. But whatever. Nonsense.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, we saw Stephen Amell, Grant Gustin. They had dinner together. It's clear that they're working on a new season of a show, right?
No, they're fucking each other.
Probably.
Don't get fans of that started. There's probably a group out there that think that's a thing too.
Oh my god!
The amount of seasons I had to endure fans of Supernatural convinced the two leads were a thing was exhausting.
So
they're brothers. They're brothers.
Yeah.
So like they're actual brothers. Like the fact that people were actually shipping Dean and Sal. I'm like, guys.
I'm talking off screen.
Yeah.
Well, that's even weird too, because like they're so like brotherly in real life too.
So Justin here is asking Canada specifically.
Yeah.
Taking the CW. So apparently you have the inside scoop. You clearly know.
Yeah. Obviously, I know everything. My gut instinct is I think we will find out somewhere around like 4 p.m. the day of the Superman and Lois finale.
They'll just drop it like
yes, like not enough time for anyone that actually might care to all of a sudden be like, I'm done with this show. They've already like, queued it up on their screen. They know it's starting in an hour. They probably aren't even reading Twitter by that point.
So what they'll do is they'll have the episode air and they'll have previously on Superman and Lois, and they'll have that, and then at the end it says, here is now the series finale of Superman and Lois. And the voiceover of Tyler Hoechlin. Here's the series finale.
And now the series finale.
And now the series finale of Superman and Lois.
I always used to love it when Smallville would do that, like, and now the season premiere of Smallville.
So I know a few minutes ago Justin also said something about the Smallville set. I know Andy has seen it because I actually sent him the link, but I don't know if you saw it, Jordan, but
I did.
Yeah, so for those of you not in the loop, I was out near where the Smallville downtown set is. It's a set that they've got built on a fairgrounds. I was out there for other reasons. I'm like, well, let's go by there and check it out because no one knows if it exists or not. So I went out there, and it's still up, fully intact. Nothing's been taken down. Still got a fence up around it. So I don't know what's going on from the agreement standpoint because their old 3-year agreement's done. That is done, wrapped. They would have had to sign on for longer extension or something. So, I mean, somebody, whether it is Warner Brothers specifically or whatever, has put out something to make sure they still have that space. So the other thing is all around where that studio space is, the city of Surrey is building new things. They're putting in an arena right where the crew parking used to be. They're actively building it right now. So that's not where the crew will be parking next year. I don't know where they're going to park if they go back there. But the set's still up. Another thing I found out after I posted that video was someone had tweeted at me that they were really annoyed because one of the agreements, apparently, when this all came to fruition a few years ago, was in the off season when the rodeo is on, because there's like a rodeo that goes on there every year on those fairgrounds. When the rodeo goes on, it was supposed to be guided tours through the set. This is the first year the rodeo was back because of COVID and all that. No such thing happened. Where did that go? How did that not happen?
And out the window. I mean, it's in the fact that the longer that sets. This is the thing that I was talking to someone about the other day. It's like, okay, that set is still around, but it's costing them money. Like it's not getting to stay up there for free. So like the longer it goes on, the longer it goes on, and then with the writer's strike still happening, like at some point, Warner Bros. Is gonna have to be like, we can't keep paying this if we're not gonna use it.
Yeah.
Right. That happened with a show back in the day called Sanctuary. They had a studio that they rented for almost 10 months, thinking they might still have a go at another season, and finally they had to let it go. They just were like, we can't keep paying for something we're not using.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, because there's not been any word about any movement on trying to get a deal done. The writer's strike might kill Superman and Lois potential, like regardless of where it would be.
It could. Here's the thing: the writer's strike is technically killing everything equally at the same time right now.
Yeah.
So when the writer's strike finally ends, there's probably just going to be this insane scramble by studios to start filling spaces.
Yeah.
The thing that could maybe save them is the fact that they already have everything set. All they got to do is write episodes, whereas other shows haven't even built anything for themselves yet, right? Like they don't even have a cast.
Yeah.
They don't have a cast. They don't even have a filming location yet. So maybe they're a step ahead of the game,
Yeah, like most shows, like Stranger Things. I mean, Stranger Things had like the build sets, but they have set locations they could realistically reuse. They have Cobra Kai, same thing. But yeah, like shows that are like in development or were in the process of being its first season or whatever, or shows that have to change sets because of location changes and how seasons play out. It's all going to really depend on how long the strike goes on. That's really good at what depends. Because if it keeps on going if it goes on for a couple months,
I think that will definitely then kill most shows that we were waiting for.
Yeah, most shows that
and
are not
this
right
week, the SAG-AFTRA they
Mm-hmm,
voted 97.2% to authorize a strike as well. So
the directors made a deal, but if the actors are going on strike too,
wow.
Here's the thing: if actors go on strike, the Directors Guild they just pretty much wasted their time because they can't do anything.
Well, I mean, the Directors Guild didn't waste their time because, I mean, in the end, they probably got whatever they felt they needed because they weren't in a rush. Like, they could have dragged it out, too, because everybody else is potentially on strike. So the fact that they agreed to something probably means they got whatever they were looking for.
Which is unfortunate that at least the other potential, the second strike, and then obviously the strike now, they can't get somewhat of stuff they want, or there is a compromise because obviously
at the end of the day, directors and actors are always going to be the first ones taken care of. Writers, regardless of the fact that they literally make the scenes that these actors and directors work on, always get the short end of the stick. They're like the Walmart greeter of the store. There's no respect given to them. They're just paid to do a job, and the studio doesn't even remember their names when they're there. So it's not surprising they're getting the short end of the stick,
I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to be in that show.
Lance and Andy, buddy comedy?
Yeah,
who's playing Lance?
You need writers.
Who's playing Lance?
I'll be right back.
Okay. Katie Sackhoff has admitted she was really disappointed that she didn't get to be Emmett Black in the last season.
Oh, by the way, let's just can we also just pretend that she's
where's that voice coming from?
Yeah, where's that voice coming from? Let's just remember that she's not cheap.
No,
so I feel for her, but at the same time, like she needs to know, like she probably wasn't cheap to bring back to the show.
Plus, I mean, let's be honest. In the episode she would have been in, that was already a bloated episode with cast.
Which one would she have been in? Do you think?
One of the Goldface episodes.
Oh, that makes sense. They addressed it. They mentioned her name, but
like they had the whole rogues and then the villain rogues to pay out. Jabesia, like you're already putting out a lot of salaries there.
Yeah, and it's like, what do you do with her character? So, and the thing is, yeah, I mean, literally, she wasn't filming Mandalorian season 3 at the time, but she was out promoting Mandalorian season 3 around the time the show was starting to air, and it's like she got paid a lot of money to be in that Disney Plus show versus showing up for an episode of The Flash. I get it, but at the same time, a lot of people also disliked her character. So
yeah, I also think like when Justin says that, what's the context in? If it's like a fan asking them at a fan expo, or it's just in an interview where someone's like, "Oh, you used to be on The Flash. Are you disappointed you didn't get to come back?" Just their default PR setting is to be like, "Yeah, I'm disappointed," because they don't want to tell fans like, "Fuck it, they weren't going to pay me much." Like they're not going to say those words, right?
I mean,
like, if she had just said it offhand with no prompting in a tweet or an Instagram post, maybe she's hurt. But if it's in a question that was directly asked of her, that's just her PR line of like, yeah, of course I'd like to work, but whatever.
Yeah. Brian said a question for you, Ken, about the wildfires.
Here in Vancouver, not so much. Usually, 99% of the time when you hear about bad wildfires, BC is right in the middle of it. This year, kind of not really. Alberta had it really bad last month. I think there probably still is. I mean, we've got some. We just had a bad air advisory like 2 days ago, but it lasted for like a day. But back east, like Ontario and Quebec specifically, which the state of Quebec kind of lines up, if you were to go like straight down the coast, lines up basically with like the state of New York and all those other states. I mean, theirs is horrible right now. And I'm sure we've all seen the pictures of like what it was like in New York a couple of days ago, etc. So they're right now dealing with how we usually deal like this type of stuff. So I think eventually we'll have our turn at it sometime this summer, but right now ours isn't too bad.
Gotcha.
You'd think with all these forest fires we've had, we just wouldn't have any trees left to burn the next year.
You would think.
You know what? Yeah. I know Chainsaw won't care as much about this.
No, I don't.
But CG, I was like, I am getting so beyond frustrated we still don't have a premiere date for The Boys season 4. There's not
when
even
did they stop filming that?
It was like, I know Anthony Starr wrapped like 2 months ago.
Because they did the crossover, the spin-off in between seasons. So I think it was pushed back a little later than it would usually be.
And you're right. I don't care. You are 100%.
Oh, this isn't the page I wanted. Continue talking. I'm looking for something specific that might find the information.
Words, sentences, words.
Fill in screen time. Be like Grant Gustin and just fill in some screen time.
Oh, okay.
Homelander is hot.
I regret giving you the decision to go ahead with
that might be the most problematic thing I could ever say in this genre.
I love Canada's tweet about the chosen lens on CW. Finally, the CW is getting some fresh, new, original products that no one has seen before. What's that? It's been around since 2019, you say? Okay, disregard this tweet.
I pissed myself when it was like a free season pickup.
Like, Jesus.
They really believe in the product, guys, okay?
They're making a Cat in the Hat movie, theatrical. Okay.
Based on the Dr. Seuss characters?
Yes.
We really are running out of ideas, guys.
I mean,
well,
yes, we are.
To be fair, no one's come up with an original idea. That's why,
Oh my God. Kids have been streaming Encanto for 11 billion minutes on Disney Plus, according to the Nielsen 2 to 11 demo.
Am I supposed to know what this is?
It's a Disney animated movie that came out, I think, last year or 2 years ago. But kids have streamed it 11 billion minutes. That's insane. Oh, Bluey. Kids have been streaming Bluey for 12 billion minutes.
I mean, that's minutes. When you divide that by how many minutes long the project is, divide that by how many kids watch it and how many turned it on and walked away and started playing with their trucks in the background.
That's what I do.
Probably not as impressive, right?
I mean, but that's what I do. I play with my toys when I turn TV on.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, if you watch my Flash reactions, you notice half the time I'm playing with my toys, while stuff's happening. That's what I do.
You just edit those parts out.
Oh no, I mean, I definitely edit those parts out. The other times, when like Cecile's talking, I'm playing with my Tonka truck. Oh my god, what I do. I don't know.
Well, you must be playing with her a lot then, because she's on screen a lot.
I don't know what you guys do when Cecile comes on screen, but that's what I do. I sit there.
I usually hit mute.
I play with my race cars.
I am sitting on the edge of my seat, focused and listening to every word, because I understand it's going to be epic. If I could ever get a scene where they had Cecile and Chillblaine in the same scene.
Perfect. Yeah, exactly. I will not be available either because, it's 2 days before my birthday, but Spider-Man 2 is coming out. I can't wait. Can't wait. This is a perfect. Thank you so much for this fucking reference. Playing with your toys like Dark Helmet. Exactly. Fucking Spaceballs reference. Fantastic. We need more topics for the stream. No, we don't need topics. We need less topics. There's too many things to talk about, guys. There's too much shit to talk about.
It's been a hectic week. I mean, we had The Chosen got picked up.
Perfect.
Live Golf merged with the PGA.
Fuck yeah.
I mean, there's a show right there.
That's a whole episode.
Yeah.
We could spend an hour and a half on those two topics alone.
There really hasn't been anything interesting this week, has there?
No.
I mean, I remember when I went on Vlog Scream a couple of weeks ago, and I remember I read, because they didn't follow much of it, the CW stuff. So I was reading the list of here's all the new shows coming to the CW this season, and they're like, these are the names of shows. It was the stupidest names.
It's just ridiculous how the CW has now completely shifted, but whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, that happens in the media world all the time. I've watched news networks and newspapers go from central leaning to left leaning to right leaning all within a 15-year span because new owners direct it the way they want. Yeah. Happens in TV too, I remember a couple of TV stations when I was a kid. I used to watch them all the time, and now I tune into them like 6 or 8 minutes when I'm over at a friend's place or whatever, and I'll see their ads, and I'm like, they really are pushing a specific agenda, Yeah. It's just the business of media. New owner, they have their plan,
No, Brian.
So, someone else had mentioned this on Twitter or something, and this means that the CW is going to double down on golf. They're not going to double down and save other shows.
Technically, no. You know what's going to happen is they're going to get completely blindsided by Live Golf just going out of business, and they won't have a product to air. Because there's no way in hell that now that the Saudis have their hands into PGA, they're keeping Live Golf alive. No way in hell.
Supernatural season 16 coming to you soon.
I mean, only if the Walker show got canceled, then maybe they could do that. I don't know. Is Jensen Ackles busy right now as well?
He's been getting a few more producer gigs going, but I don't know how much he's done acting wise lately. He might have something that he's done and no one really knows about it. So I'm not going to say all the details, but a friend of mine ran into him in an unrelated city, going to a different city, and it wasn't a place he was currently filming in. And when he ran into him, Jensen specifically said to him, like, can you not let anyone I'm going there? No one knows. So he must have been working on something at that time that no one had any idea about. So
Interesting.
sounds like he's been working, but he could have also maybe been going there just to do producing stuff, and he didn't want anyone knowing he was in town. Because
I mean, he's always in season 4, right?
What's that?
He's always in season 4, right? Of the boys.
Oh, of the boys? I don't think so. If he is, no one in Toronto knew of it. He wasn't seen in Toronto as far as I've heard.
See, I was almost convinced, like when I was watching season 3, I'm like, oh, they're gonna do a spinoff with him, like almost like a prequel, like what he was up to before he was put on ice.
Great, we get to watch him be back in the 50s acting like an asshole.
I mean, his fandom wouldn't say no to seeing more Jensen Ackles.
Oh God. Yeah, it's true.
I'm happy that was the only speed that she took down. I would have, like, if he had taken down Zoom or anyone else, I would have actually lost my shit. Oh, Theo. Like Felicity Smoke and Sarah Lance, she will never be seen in live action ever again.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
Oh, that's funny. Well, you do know.
Next season on Superman and Lois, a new person comes to town. All you see is like Superman is there. He's frustrated. He can't beat the villain of the week. And all of a sudden you just hear out of a dark corner someone being like, I'm feeling frustration coming from you. And then she walks out into the light.
She's like,
and a heavenly glow around her.
Superman, I'm here. Oh, wait, is it this hand or just this hand? She does that. She's like, Superman, I'm here.
Well, I was going to say, because you mentioned Sarah Lance, like you do realize that, the Flash couldn't afford her, right?
Oh my God, when she said that, I was like, Katie, it's also because nobody's asking you to come back.
Yeah, nobody asked you to come
back.
Wait,
what controversy did I miss?
Last summer, she and Jessica Callum was at a con where they asked her, like, are you gonna come back to the Flash? She's like, they can't afford us.
Yeah.
And
he's not technically wrong.
Yeah, because they're gonna prioritize the money on things that actually make sense for the Flash.
Yeah. Well, it's all
sorry.
And she also said other things similar to that too in other places too. And it's like, I feel like she's just bitching and complaining, but you're throwing it at the wrong place. You need to throw it at your showrunner who left you guys on a cliffhanger instead of complaining about, because fans are just trying to be just answering. They can't afford us. Like, that's not cute or funny. That's just you being an ass.
Here's the thing: they can afford them. It's that they don't want to waste money on them.
Yeah.
If they listen, like, because
Okay, I'm gonna cut in there, Andy, and kind of correct you. They kind of can't afford them, not unless they were going to cut out other characters.
Yeah. Well, they would have to restructure who they wanted to bring in for the final season.
Yes,
if they brought in all of them.
You would have had to take out someone like a Keenan Lonsdale or David Ramsey or someone that is a veteran actor. You have to take out one of them to fit her in somewhere. And would it make sense?
Take out Stephen Amell, who probably cost the most out of them.
No, I think Katie Lotz would be more on par with a Keenan Lonsdale or David Ramsey.
Her contract. You're talking about the same
contract level. Yeah, it wouldn't be nearly the same level.
I'm talking like Stephen Amell for like all of the legends or something. Is what I was thinking.
For all of them. Yeah. All of them, then you'd have to take out like Stephen Keenan and David.
Yeah,
I probably maybe for even more money, they'll probably take out Teddy and Rick and Tom and.
So I had a real interesting idea crossed my head a few minutes ago. How would you feel, just putting this out there, if in the off season after the CW declines to pick up the show anymore and they decide they're moving to HBO Max, but Todd Helbing's like, I don't want to work on HBO Max, and they're like, we got us a new showrunner, Eric Wallace. It seems to be the plan. If you finish with the Flash, you just move on to Superman and Lois.
Why not?
That way you can get Cecile into the show.
Because he would turn it into the Cecile show.
Cecile and Lois.
Personally,
No, Superman is Cecile.
yeah.
No, he would have to get backed out down to number 3 on the call sheet.
Yeah, I don't think. I personally don't want it. I'm not saying keep Todd Helbing for season 4, but I just don't think it needs to be Eric. I think Eric should move on to non-superhero stuff and kind of, do something.
I was throwing it out as a joke, but on the other hand, can we all agree that given the right support from a studio or a production company, a mediocre showrunner, because Todd Helbing's run on Flash wasn't terrible, but wasn't good, can do good things if they're just given like some actual support and maybe like direction on the way they want the things to go? Because Superman and Lois has not been a failure.
That's true.
But yes, we all saw him when he got added as the showrunner. I think the overwhelming consensus was, oh no, what are they doing? They're going to ruin this. We're 3 seasons in, and I don't know if they've had 2 bad episodes in 3 years.
I think the thing is that I feel with the Flash show, when Eric came in, we're now on its 6th season, and the budget has started to drop, and some of the cast members are clearly trying to find a way to be out of their contracts when they wrap up, and you could just tell that Eric was trying his best to make something with new characters coming in and trying to keep everybody happy somewhat, trying to find ways to keep, because it's also too, it's not like Eric Wallace came in for season 1 of The Flash and was able to start the ground up. He was way deep into the show with storylines and characters already covered and done with. There wasn't much he could realistically do, and he didn't have the budget either for it.
Yep.
So I think that's the bigger problem. I'm not sure what Justin said, but
just a little bit dramatic in the chat, so it's time to calm down a little bit.
Well, it says he's banned and their comments were removed. So does that mean banned forever?
No, I put him on timeout.
It says banned for me. I don't know. But I think if Eric Wallace would have started on The Flash season 1, I think it would be a different story. But the way things are, the show started off very strong without Eric Wallace for show running it. And I think Eric Wallace doesn't need to jump into a show that's already mid-season. I'd rather have Eric Wallace be supported by a studio on a new show where he starts from the ground up, preferably. How long does Superman have to get renewed? I mean, I don't know.
But the longer it goes on, it's
the less likely, because the contracts would have to. Because Lucifer got renewed on the last day before those contracts got.
That was nerve wracking.
But how long was that though?
It was almost a month.
Yeah, so we gotta know, when are the contracts? Like, there has to be something in the contracts to where if the show is renewed by a certain point.
I mean, the majority, especially in the old CW, because these are old CW contracts, you usually sign your leads for like 6 years. So Tyler and Bitsy are probably locked up well after the show is going to actually end. Your secondary cast is probably a 3 or 4 year deal. I mean, the fact that we haven't heard of anyone leaving the show probably means 4 years. But 4 years is still well into 2024.
Would there be something in their contract where if the show doesn't get renewed at a certain point by the studio or the network that they can get out of it?
Again, for someone like a Tyler or a Bitsy, yeah. For the likes of like Indy Navarrete or Alex Garfin, no. They probably just have a flat contract.
To where they are required if the show does get picked up.
Yeah. I mean, Tyler and Bitsy could have something like that because they're veterans, and have been notable leads on shows in the past, so they kind of have a little more pull.
Yeah, because if the show's not getting picked up, if they're just kind of sitting, they can get out of their contract and move on to something else and not have to wait. So,
yeah.
But I think Andy's right. I think Andy knows. I think Andy knows. I think Andy's right that I think the CW already knows that they already know what they decided.
100%. They have decided they're done. they're just
with both Gotham Knights and Superman and Lois, or at least Superman and Lois.
That's actually an interesting question because I have not thought of Gotham Knights once.
I put him on a timeout because he was just posting a bunch of negative comments about everything, and it's just like, can we just calm the hell down? Like, he was, talking about a certain, president.
We don't need that in here. Sorry.
Yeah, it was getting on Eric. It was getting on Candace. It was getting, it's just like.
Well, I get the whole thing about Eric. I mean, not kidding.
Let's be nice. We're not like those nutty YouTubers who like.
Oh, we are.
We're not Keem, whatever his name is, or.
Yeah, Canada, go on to your rant about stuff. We're like those channels. Go for it.
I don't know what my rant was going to be.
Oh, okay. Unfortunately.
So you'll have to fill in screen time because I don't know what my rant was.
Okay, hold on. Cecile, no, never mind.
Oh no.
She comes in. Do you need anything?
No, Raiden. This is not what happened like last time. Gustin,
what happened last time?
When
I am so far out of the loop.
When you were on last time you were on the show.
What did I do?
No, you didn't do anything. But we were arguing with that James Gunn troll.
Oh my god! Right? Oh, I forgot about that.
I watched it, but I rewatched up that stream the next day. I'm like, oh shit! I was like calmly mad.
You were energetic.
You were really, really angry.
Yeah, that might be the word.
I called my mommy afterwards. I was really scared.
I deal with so many different little troll situations on a weekly basis that once they're like 4 days out of view, I forgot that happened. Had some guy, well, I mean, not some guy, I know who it is. They made like 800 accounts over the last a year. Dig up Mark Guggenheim's grave again and harass him into badgering me. And I was just like,
I fucking saw that.
I'm like, all right, let's do this again.
That guy again said this wasn't meant to hurt you or cause any problems.
I know he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, because he said he said the same thing last time he did this when he direct tweeted at Mark Guggenheim.
Yeah, and I just straight up like went at Mark this time, like, why do you let these guys bait you into dumb arguments? And he never replied to me this time. Last couple of times he would reply to me like once. He didn't reply to me at all. So I think he realized like he's doing himself no good.
Well, I think you also made the point of saying you were a lawyer. I think you would be smarter than this.
It's amazing because like as a lawyer, one of your skill sets as a lawyer is just being able to like state facts. That's supposed to be like part of your skill set. I don't I don't know.
I have this feeling that Justin is now like spamming like other Twitter people and being like, "Did you see that Annie banned me?" And I'm like,
"Wait, is he?"
No, I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if he was doing that.
At the end of the day, there's a little part of me that's kind of happy. This is all, like more or less this is all said and done because I don't have to deal with 93% of these like childish accounts week in and week out. Yeah. Like there's a good percentage of pretty awesome people in the community, but then there's that 1% that's just exhausting to deal with and they come back over and over again.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Why'd you get any photos of Stemily?
I still have this one guy that badgers me through DMs once in a while asking something like, why did you end the Arrowverse? That was what he asked me back like last week of May. And I'm like, I don't understand your question, man.
You should have said it wasn't making me enough money.
I remember. Sorry, I saw they tried to request to message me on Discord, and they're like, "Wait, let me see what they said." I'm not gonna give out the name, but like it was kind of funny. They're like, "I need your help to reboot the Arrowverse." I'm like, "What power? What power does people think I have?"
Congratulations on your new job, Andy.
Thank you.
I didn't realize you were hired to do that.
I didn't even know I'm supposed to be getting a paycheck. So you know,
looks like Jordan's gonna have to find a new co-host now because you're gonna be busy.
I gotta start figuring that out. I'll keep you guys updated.
I think you could probably get Lucy to come in.
Hell yeah.
I think UCG. I mean, UCG could probably do something for like a couple of seasons.
Oh no, I'm gonna be busy show running some of these shows. So
yeah, he's gonna be busy.
Yeah.
We'll go for a few more minutes, guys. I think we're all tired tonight. Or at least I know me and Andy are. So we're gonna.
Yeah, I'm tired too. I've been up for almost 2 hours.
What? Fucking tired little guy over here.
I mean, I know I'm running over to Dave for a little bit after this. I'm just gonna be like you all need to watch Blue Beetle. I will never forgive you.
Oh, you're going to vodka stream?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just so that I can remind people that hey, you need to watch Blue Beetle because that new poster is so beautiful. Like hey, for all the Cobra Kai fans out there, if you really love Zolo, then you should watch Blue Beetle. Also, because you're probably gonna have to wait for season. What season number are they doing of Cobra Kai?
6, the final season.
6. Yeah. So that you probably have to wait for season 6 quite a lot. So if if you're waiting for more Zolo content, then go watch Blue Beetle.
Yeah. Dave needs to find a way to invite me back on the show. That's what he needs to do. He has not done that. Want to scoop for Aquaman Lost Kingdom? Yeah, so Aquaman's in it. There's a Lost Kingdom in it.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering what is the Lost Kingdom gonna be.
It's probably the Lost Kingdom of the graveyard of the CW shows. Probably.
With just Cecile's mask on the top of the pile.
Yes. Perfect.
And also
I can't believe how slow this week has been. You know how bizarre that is in like DC Universe?
There's been nothing really going on.
Well, you'd think something somewhere.
Get off your phone. Did you just throw it?
Yeah.
I missed what happened.
He just threw his phone.
Oh. I can't do that with mine. The case on my phone is so damaged right now. I got to get a new case. That if I even held my phone and went this, the phone would fall out of the case. I'm sure of it.
Wait, Jordan, are you throwing your phone because you're getting a new one soon?
Well, there's an article. Never mind. Yeah, Grace is in Aquaman too. I threw it on my bed.
Oh my god! I thought you literally just threw it on the ground.
No, I threw it. I'm frustrated. I'm annoyed.
Well, I mean, you could start making up rumors if you need more stuff to talk about.
Yeah, that's true too.
Grace Randolph is up for Lois Lane.
Canada Graphs is up for Batman.
I can pull it off.
You can do it. Stephen Amell is up for nothing.
Oh.
Grant Gustin is confirmed to be in talks to replace Ezra Miller as the Flash.
Ooh. And I heard a very reliable source told me that the new Iris West is coming down to a fight between Chantel Van Santen, and Emily Bett Rickards. They're just trying to decide which one.
Can you imagine if they got Emily to play fucking Iris?
No. I have the
Cecilia.
If we're just gonna go all out, make fans mad. Danielle Panabaker as Iris.
Oh God. Oh my God.
I would not want to be on Twitter that day.
That'd be fucking hilarious. Fucking hilarious.
The fact that there's so much things in the CW fandom that to get people pissed is just it's insane.
Oh, if they actually hired Stephen Amell to play the new Oliver Queen in the DCU, that would really piss off a lot of people because there's a lot of people that hated his darker portrayal. So for them to hire him again would be funny.
I think his darker portrayal is the reason I stuck with the show. If it had been light and campy, I don't know if I would have got into it right away.
Well, that's the thing. Like, he also, like, he was the Batman of the universe because they couldn't use Batman, so they made him dark.
Yeah.
So, whatever. All the rumors I got.
Yeah.
That's it.
We need this. Yeah. Well, hopefully the strike will end soon. Yeah, but as long and of course that the writers are given what they deserve because as frustrating as it is to not have news, I do support the writers for fighting for what they deserve. Yeah, and like now, I mean, but it's interesting now. Like apparently, like HBO is not going to Comic-Con at all. So like it's like because of the strike.
Yeah.
So it's like.
Well, I was saying. Sorry, I keep cutting you off. Continue yours. I can hold on to my thought.
No, I was gonna say, like, if the longer it goes on, like, I mean, what if Marvel doesn't go?
It's possible.
I'll tell you guys right now. If there's an actor strike, they won't be going.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I was having this talk the other day when that vote happened. I was with one of my autograph buddies, and we were talking about TIFF. And we remember a few years ago there was some actors something that happened, and none. Like when I say none, I'm talking like 90% of the big names did not go to TIFF that year because of whatever strike they were dealing with at that time. Same will happen this time around. Like I remember back then people weren't doing like the talk show circuits or anything. They had to, fill with like the F-listers of the show, because anybody that had any pull was like, oh, I'm not doing work. I'm on strike. So if that does happen, yeah, there will be nothing at Comic-Con. Comic-Con will just be a bunch of comic book writers and artists.
Pretty much going back to the essence of what it was.
Comic-Con will focus on comic book people.
Yeah.
Wait, what? There's comic books?
Exactly.
What do you think Comic-Con is? I literally had that argument with someone a few years ago. I'm like, what the fuck do you think they're like, wait, why would there be comic book at Comic-Con? I'm like, what do you think comic book means in Comic-Con?
It means I actually don't have a smart ass answer for that. Usually I would, but I can't think of something for it. Where the hell is my stupid thing?
What are you looking for?
One of the things I bought at the sale. I can't remember where I put it now. I do have some things though. Any of you guys want Martin Stein's award from 1989?
Wait a minute, you actually got that?
Yeah. Have you not? I guess if you're not on Patreon, you wouldn't have seen because I haven't posted them publicly yet. Oops, I was supposed to do that yesterday. Yeah, but Wally West's first place trophy here.
Aww.
What else do I got here? So I have a couple of things that are going to. It's unfortunate I'm the one that found them because there's a particular fan base out there that may not want to buy them from me.
What did you do?
If you ever watch an episode of The Flash when they're opening the door into their loft, right inside the door, there's a photo right inside the door. It's been there for like 4 seasons.
Okay.
What else did I get of theirs? Let's see. Do you remember? Hold on, I got to move all this stuff out of the way. These pillows. This pillow's also in their loft. Oops. Sorry, I gotta get into the other container. These pillows are in Star Labs. So do you remember the season? What season was it? I might have to actually look at my own Patreon post to remember what season it was. Give me a second. Actually, why don't I just go into the matched? That'll help. Posted already. Patreon. Not that one. I want the other one. Yeah. Okay. Remember season 3 when they just started becoming a thing? There's a scene where they're making out on the couch, and then Joe comes in, and all of a sudden Barry tries to pretend nothing was going on. And then Iris and him have an awkward fight over it.
Did you get the pillow that he used to cover himself with? Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that pillow has 2 sides to it. There's obviously this side, and then that side's the side you see when it's sitting in his lap.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess
Irish fans would be livid if they found out I had the pillow they made out on.
Maybe we can address this. Steven wasn't happy this week with James Gunn.
Uh-oh. What did Steven do now?
He was upset.
What?
Yeah.
You know what? I think someone sent me that article on Twitter, but I was so basically like, I don't care, that I didn't read it.
If you read his actual quote, the problem is he's asked the question on the live stream, and then he's trying to find the words, but he just keeps
digging himself a hole with the wording.
Well, he's not finding the wording. Is the weird part? Is that?
Give me 1 second. I just got to move things around. So just keep.
You're surrounded by objects.
Yeah, I got to move some of this so I can get back to other things.
Can you even exit the room, or you're just like your entire?
I constantly have to move stuff around to get in and out of my roim. It is ridiculous. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, he's just he's asked on the spot a question that I think he should have avoided answering it. Then again, I don't understand his response either, so I don't know.
Also, you had like a good run. Like you had a good run. It's like it's time for someone else now.
8 seasons, crossovers. You appeared on The Flash season 9. You did good, kid. You did good. Time to move on. I mean, literally, he's promoting Hill season 2.
Yeah,
it's coming out. So focus on that, man. Because to be honest, we're not going to see his Green Arrow again. It's over. It's done. And I'm fine with that. We had a really good run with him. A lot of episodes, crossovers, and we got to see his Oliver Queen with Superman. We got to see him with, of course, Barry's Flash. We got to see him like a bunch of stuff, really cool stuff. That was possible because of the success of what Arrow did and all the spinoffs and all that shit. And then, it's good. Like, the DCU doesn't need the CW. I'm sorry. That's just facts. It doesn't need the CW.
None of us need the CW, though.
Well, this. I think he was more referring to the CW heroes, like the actors and stuff and the characters they played. no, we don't need you guys. I'm sorry, we don't. And that's my point about Grant. Is like I would love to see Grant continue to play the Flash, but the fact is Grant was ready to move on. He has a child now. He doesn't want to be stuck in a role he has to continuously shoot on for all these months. Obviously, the final season wasn't like it was in the past number of years, but like he was done playing the character. He's not going to start playing the character again or a new version of Barry Allen. It's just not going to happen.
Praise people.
Oh Jesus!
Exactly. Unless they paid him a lot of money and it was just for movies, but that's just
okay. I have finally dug out the stuff I bought on week 2.
Oh Jesus!
Oh wow!
All right. Let's see. What did I find on week 2?
What is it?
Okay, we'll start out. So, one of the times when they were doing like a Christmassy episode, it was the one that Mark Hamill was back for when he played Santa Claus. There's a scene where Snart goes to the West Allen home to warn them of the stuff that's about to happen.
Did you get
and he's just sitting there. He's sitting there just drinking out of a mug.
Oh my gosh, you got the bug.
And it's funny because I was looking for the ones that Barry and Iris drank out of in that episode.
Oh my god, you're so petty.
There's ones there that look exactly like it, but they're only like that big. And I'm like, I don't think that was them. Like they had to have had human-sized ones, but I couldn't find those ones. But I did find. So remember the Groundhog Day episode this season? Give me a second. I gotta fix this.
This is so funny because I'm like I don't know how far that bag goes. Is that a typewriter?
Yeah, I'm typing a note to everybody in chat to let them know. Give me a second. Okay, so remember the Groundhog Day episode this season?
Mm-hmm.
Barry and Iris are having some trouble getting out of a fixed little loop of time there, and they keep going through the same motion, waking up in the bed, and they would a couple times go to look and check the date, and it was on a clock.
Oh my gosh. The clock.
Oh dear Lord.
Yeah. So another thing I found was when Barry and Iris first get their house, they have like a housewarming party to show everyone their house, and everyone comes with gifts. That's when like Wells gives them the turtle and all that stuff. And Wally gives them a gift too that was a plant, and it was in a planter.
Nice.
It's funny because there was 2 of these on the shelf, but the other one didn't have home on it. It was just plain white. And the first one I picked up was the plain white one. I'm like, oh, these aren't the right one. And I was almost ready to not look at the second one because I just assumed it would also be plain white. But something in my head was like, you're here. May as well turn it around. And I turned around and it was the right one. And then I found out something. Maybe one of you guys might be smart enough to help me out because I didn't bother looking into it at all.
Okay.
Do you know where an HR jitters would come in?
I
thought of every city possible. The only thing I can think of is like HR Wells, but I don't know how that comes into play.
HR jitters.
I don't know.
Like I thought of every city I could possibly think of and can't come up with an HR.
HR jitters.
Yeah, see, I couldn't think of it right away either.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting because I'm like, HR, what could that be? And I just grabbed them as is. And I still can't think what that means. But yeah, that was my week 2 pickups. And I also now know where all those stupid face cloths I bought went. I bought face cloths while I was there, not because I needed them, but because to wrap the cups in. Mm-hmm. And the other day, I'm kind of like, I need a face cloth. Where's those ones I just bought? And I couldn't remember where I put them till now.
There you go.
So yeah, that That was my week 2 pickups. I've also got some like awards back there for stuff, but I'm lazy.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I think that's a good way to wrap up the episode with showing off what he bought.
Yeah, I could maybe like use the West Allen pillow as like a backrest or something, you know.
Yeah. People would love that.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank, of course, co-host Andy for being here, and thank you, Candographs, for showing up and hanging out.
That's me.
This was a weird episode for sure, but thank you guys so much for being here. And as you guys know, we also have to end on the clip of all clips. The clip will never not be played ever on this show. Gracie Cicada, take it away.
Metas killed your parents, Gracie. They all deserve to die.
Don't believe him, Grace.
Don't believe him, Gracers. Don't believe him.
I hope when the wardrobe sale happens, I can find whatever he was wearing in that scene.
You should. Are you giving those away, or are you a pirate? I mean,
So did they just give those a?
No.
There's a set sale going on, Raiden. 5 weeks of things, and then they're doing a wardrobe sale in September.
Thank you, stranger. Thank you. Yep, episode 60 is next week. Yep. Well, hope you
And
guys.
then we won't be back till July.
Yeah.
Makes it perfect time to end the season. End the season right on a nice even number.
Yeah.
Do you know what the cliffhanger is yet?
We haven't decided yet. We're toying.
Yeah,
with it.
I'm waiting for Todd helping to text me back. Yeah.
Ooh.
Anyways, hope you guys have a great weekend. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.